It's time for a Week 4 recap, another episode of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in and joining us here at the Empty Wagon. Follow us on Twitter at EmptyWagonFF. We got all the games, Week 4 action recapping on this episode. We're watching Sunday Night Football as we're recording, and what a week it was in the NFL. So we're going to break down the games that we broke down last time in our preview episode. And most of us got it right. Some of us got it wrong. Josh?
I got some stuff right. Some stuff we just didn't see coming.
We're here to tell you why it happened and what you can do to Week 5 to bounce back if you lost. And if you won, like most of us did, other than Josh, what you need to do next week to keep the train rolling.
I haven't lost anything yet.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I haven't lost anything
Just
yet.
knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm only up by 60 points with Tyreek Hill to go, so I don't trust it.
69 points.
You're right. Tyreek Hill is going to fumble the ball 6 times.
No. He's got Tyreek Hill. I'm done.
Oh. He has 60-point cushion?
But you don't know, Tyreek Hill could catch 500 yards and about 18 touchdowns. And
Is this our matchup? What? Is this our matchup you're talking about?
No. Oh, my gosh, dude. Pay attention.
I have too many.
Pay
games.
attention.
We are playing in 2 leagues against each other, so.
Yeah. And I have Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but you're losing bad in the Dynasty League. Brad.
Always. It's called consistency.
You're going to get the
Speaking of
number
leagues,
1 pick.
how's
Though.
our podcast league doing? How we doing in that?
We are going to be 1-3.
Woo!
1-3.
Good old Jordy and Corey Davis on the bench. We'll get to that.
Yeah, all right. So,
Told you to start Jordy.
who wants to start their first game out?
Yeah, how you guys doing? Anything to...
I'm good, man. I mean,
You sure you're good? You're not... your stomach isn't queasy after watching that Tyler Eifert injury?
oh, that was so sad.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Don't ever want to see that to anyone. Especially to a guy
It reminded
who's,
me of Gordon Hayward whenever that.
That's
yes,
what
I was
Bleacher
I was
Report
going to say that. Exactly.
Bleacher Report tweeted that out.
Oh,
That's
dude.
what it said.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, that Joe Theismann.
Did you guys see it before I texted you and told you to go watch it?
Yeah, I saw it.
No, I
already.
didn't see it live.
I
saw
saw it
it.
already.
Oh, yeah.
So on that note, I had to, look it up online on YouTube to Tyler Eifert injury.
Don't.
Yeah, when you type that into YouTube, you're going to be scrolling for a while.
Don't.
I hate to make a joke of it because it's terrible what happened to him, and he's a great guy and great tight end, but
He's injured a lot.
yeah. So
Like a whole lot.
you might want to narrow down the details there when you type that into YouTube. But back to this Cincy Atlanta game. Cincy won by 1 on a late touchdown pass from Dalton to AJ Green, 37-36. Cincy comes out with a win. Shootout as expected. As we said in our preview episode, Dalton and Ryan, great streaming options, both quarterbacks there. I think they both had 3 touchdowns in this game. Giovanni Bernard is a starter in your lineup for as long as Mixon is out. However, I don't know if Mixon's going to be out next week. He's practicing again. He's feeling good, so he could be back next week, which means all you people who started Giovanni Bernard getting those big numbers from him, that Rainbow Road's coming to an end, unfortunately. Your boy, Tyler Boyd, Josh,
Ba-boom.
had a big game.
Big boy.
11 receptions for 100 yards. AJ Green had AJ Green numbers. Tyler Eifert was doing pretty good up until that injury.
Oh, man.
4 receptions, 38 yards, and a touchdown. And we bringing back the John Ross hype.
We started to, and then his hamstring or groin or whatever it was. Did you guys see his touchdown where he came up lame?
Yeah, he came lame on the touchdown. I was like, dude, you just burn him, and now you hurt yourself?
Well, that's what he did at the combine, remember? He broke the record, and he didn't run again because he
He's
pulled
so
his hamstring.
fast.
His
that ligaments
hamstrings can't keep
up
up with his speed.
Exactly.
That's a good problem to have.
On the other side of the field, Tevin Coleman, kind of the same thing as Giovanni Bernard. Once Devonta Freeman gets back, Coleman's touches and production should go down. Not that he had a great week. He had 51 rushing yards, 3 receptions for 26. Julio Jones, and we talked about this a little bit of pre-show, had a bunch of yards, 173, but the touchdowns are going to the rookie, Calvin Ridley. And he came down with 2 of them today. I think Calvin Ridley's a starter now in lineups.
Yeah, it's tough to disagree with that. This Atlanta offense is really good, and their defense is really bad, so that is great for fantasy.
Yep.
Mohamed Sanu added 6 receptions for 111 yards, by the way, just to display how much of a shootout this game really was.
He said that he wanted the ball so he could hurt his last team. He wanted to hurt the Bengals.
Did you hear what AJ Green said as he left?
No.
because he's from Atlanta. He said, "This is my town," as he walked off the field with that game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, good for you, AJ. I mean, he did play at Georgia too, so.
Yeah, he was like, "This is my town," as he like ran off the
This
field.
is my house.
Yeah.
You like that?
We'll get into some other players, what they did as they left the field too, a little bit later.
Oh boy. Well,
Like
that's
in
all I
the
got for
Seahawks
this
game?
game.
Yep,
I mean,
teaser.
since he did win that game, so I guess it still is AJ Green's town.
All right, I'll take the next one. I'll do a little Detroit at Dallas.
Ooh, fun.
So we'll start at Detroit. So Matthew Stafford did normal Matthew Stafford things. Nothing too fancy, but 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're not upset with that.
Could be worse, like Tannehill.
Yeah, and then we kind of talked about on our last show in the preview which running back's going to take over the role. I think Kerryon took it over.
Boom.
Yeah, I
He
think
got
so,
the
too.
touchdown, but he didn't get a lot of rush yard. They didn't actually do a lot of rush attempts.
Yeah,
I
how
don't
many was it?
understand why
Like
they're so
9?
hesitant to just let him have the role.
Because Matty Snapback wants to throw the ball 30 times.
Carry on is great.
He did lead the team in rushing and snaps this week, so
I don't think anyone's disputing that, but
yeah.
he's kind of playing from behind a little
He still only had 1 target when you look at him on the receiving end of the ball, and he caught it for 1 yard, but
bit. 1 for 1 for 1?
PPR.
No.
But then
just
let's
1
get
for
into the
1.
wide receivers.
Ooh.
Golden Tate had a golden day
Oh,
with a little bit of swagger on
so
top.
disrespectful. It was so disrespectful.
Both his touchdowns, he was taunting. I'm surprised he didn't get flagged.
Dude, especially the first one where he stopped, walked in backwards.
Yeah. Well, the other one he did that too, and they were like right next to him. He like turned as he went in
Oh,
to just
so disrespectful.
taunt. But he
Dallas defense, though.
had 8 receptions, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then Kenny Golladay had 4 for 74 on 4 targets. Then Marvin Jones had 3 for 56, but he had 6 targets. So I still don't know who's leading this wide receiver core.
I think, the problem is that when the game was on the line, there was one person Matt Stafford really wanted to get the ball to. It was Golden Tate. I mean, I was watching
That
it.
was the guy he expected to make a play after the catch.
Absolutely. So he went to Old Reliable, and it was very apparent to me that, and they're going to be in a lot of those situations because their defense is bad.
Yeah, they missed a couple opportunities on defense too. They had a couple picks they dropped, and
when you have the other 2 guys on the outside who are just burners, Golden Tate makes plays, dude.
yeah, he was going to Kenny Golladay for those 3rd down plays a lot for a surefire catch, but Golladay was doing nothing after the catch. It was pretty much a catch and fall down.
Golden Tate, dude. I think it's
So,
him, man. I think he's.
I mean, as long as Matty Snapback's still on the ball 30 times, I think all these wide receivers are pretty relevant.
Stat Mafford.
That's really the only relevant people. Theo Riddick didn't do much. I mean, I think it was just game scripted out of it.
Ugh.
Yeah, we got that right in our preview episode. I think we called Galladay the number 2 now. So
Yeah, but Marvin Jones still getting the more targets, which really throws it in a wrench in that whole situation. Then we go to Dallas, and we got Dak Prescott, who actually was not terrible.
He played football this weekend.
He threw 2
good for you,
touchdowns,
Dak.
Good for you, Dak.
255 yards.
Hey,
Not bad, not too shabby.
they'll take it.
I mean, I don't think anybody out there started him.
No,
I
you
doubt it.
you can't start him.
I did bury the lead here. We can just go into Zeke. Zeke was hungry, and they fed him.
Oh, he was so hungry.
He got 29 touches.
29.
That's receiving and rushing.
He's full. After today.
240 total yards
Career high.
and 2 total touchdowns.
Oh, he's so full right now.
Yeah.
So you won your week if you started him, if he was on your team.
Hopefully he did.
Well,
If
of
not,
course
the
you
rest of your
started
team is pretty bad.
Well, you're going to start him anyway.
And then really the only other person on Dallas I really want to talk about is the tight end,
Jeff Swaim.
Jeff Swaim.
Hmm.
3 receptions, 39 yards, and a touchdown.
Hey, now I know who Dallas's tight end is.
They were targeting the Beasles a little bit.
They did. I mean, but it was normal Beasley stuff. It was
Yeah.
really short
Did
yardage.
you see that catch that Tavon Austin dropped in the end zone?
Oh, the touchdown?
What a disappointment. But that's why he got traded.
Yeah. And that's why you're reluctant to start Tavon Austin, even though they do design plays for him to get open and get touchdowns.
Oh.
Yeah, he's looking like the number 1 receiver there now.
Well, no one's the number 1 receiver there.
That's true.
It's Zeke. Zeke is the number 1 receiver.
Zeke is the number 1 everything there.
Yeah.
And they finally said, hey, Zeke, we're just going to force feed you this.
Hey, we really want to win games, and we think the best way to do that is to get the ball in our best players' hands.
You've seen Dallas's.
Good call, Garrett.
I want to think Dallas has
Crushed
like a 70 or 80% win percentage when Zeke gets over 25 carries.
I don't understand why he doesn't
I
have
want to
50
say it was like the
carries.
same, too, when he was in college.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about that. You're running the ball more when you're up, so
Dude,
it's kind of a weird stat to say, but
you got to just run Zeke into the ground, dude.
they did the same thing with Marco Murray.
Poor Mark.
And then you let him go,
Well,
and you don't care anymore.
yeah, that was sad. Hopefully they don't do the same thing to Zeke.
They are. Look at his first 2 seasons.
I know. Well, this is his 3rd season, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else from that game you care about?
Nope. No wide receiver really stood out. Michael Gallup had a couple good catches, but nothing really fancy.
All right.
There's really nothing there.
All right, so I got Eagles-Titans. Well, Carson Wentz had a much better day today. 348 yards with 2 touchdowns. The Titans actually won this game. They're 3-1, guys. I don't know if you know that. Titans,
It's a typo.
But see, I think I figured it out. The Titans' offense only plays to the level that they need to play at to be competitive.
Don't waste energy.
Yeah, they
Conserve your energy.
Last week they won
season.
9-6 against Jacksonville because that's all they needed to do. This weekend they had to have a little bit more offense, so they said, you know what, we'll just do it. The Titans were ridiculous. I said sit all of them, and I was wrong, way wrong, but I think everyone felt that way. And then Marcus Mariota, he's going to be a top 10 quarterback this week. 344 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 46 yards rushing, and a touchdown rushing. He did have 1 reception, but that's not going to hurt him, man. Deion Lewis was great in PPR. He had 0 rushing yards, but he had 9 catches for 66 yards, so that was good. Derrick Henry, still need to sit him. Nothing's changed on that front. Still kind of a bust. But Corey Davis.
I was going to say, you gave up on Corey Davis a little early.
So Corey Davis.
15 targets.
15. Well, there's no one else. Well, there's Taylor. Taylor had 7 for 77, but Corey Davis 9 for 161 and a touchdown. I think with everyone else out of the way now, it was apparent that this is going to be his make or break year.
Well, we did see this week 1 with Mariota that he did target Corey Davis a lot. And we thought this was going to happen. Corey Davis dropped a few week 1. And this time he just didn't drop as many.
Yeah, and it's looking.
When are they going to start doubling Davis?
It's
like you said, there's no one else.
It's looking really good. Well, see, the thing is if they double Davis, Mariota will just going to end up running it.
And Tywan Taylor and Tajon Sharp weren't terrible.
Well, Tajay Sharp had a touchdown, but he only had like 2 catches. Tywan Taylor, he got you 14 points in PPR.
Yeah, 7 catches, 77 yards.
That's not bad.
We love Julian Edelman for that kind of number.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, I have to start Julian Edelman next week because T.Y. got hurt. Anyway, so back to the Eagles. Carson Wentz, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns. So we were really hesitant to figure out what was going to happen with the running backs, and they didn't do great anyway. J.J. was leading it with his broken back. 15 carries for 70 yards, 3 catches for 11 yards, and that was the best out of all the running backs there. So the rest of them weren't really worth mentioning. Nelson Aguilar. I said start him because I didn't think Alshon was going to play.
Oh, he played.
And that was kind of a bust because Nelson Aguilar only went 5 for 22. Zach Ertz, come on, we all know, 10 for 112. But Alshon Jeffrey came back in a big way. 8 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. And there was a Jordan Matthews sighting too, guys.
And a Jordan Matthews drop.
Yeah, but 56 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, 1. But you could have had another one. You could have had those stats a little bit more.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Eagles lost. So out of this, I'm really not seeing anybody. I think Goddard, we saw his ceiling last week. He's going to go back to the Trey Burton role. He's just going to be that second tight end. I don't think that he's worth keeping on your roster. And honestly, I think at this point, I'm ready to let go of Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I think that he's completely droppable.
If there's space on your bench, just keep him on your bench.
I do wonder. No. So the game script of this was that the Eagles were kind of in a shootout with them, and they did have to come from behind a little bit to win this. So if they actually do get up, if Tennessee actually gets up by a couple touchdowns in the game, do they force feed Derrick Henry the ball and try to run the clock out?
They were trying to do it in overtime, and he's not a good running back, man.
Yeah.
It's sad to see because he's got all the talent in the world.
He's so big. I think that hurts him being so big.
Well, it's honestly pretty easy to spot.
Yeah, easy to spot. So many places to take,
He's a giant. Like, whenever they're doing those drills out there with him and Deion Lewis, where he's like holding Dion Lewis back. It looks like he's walking his child, like on a leash. It's sad, but it's true, dude.
The biggest thing I want to say, I think Mariota's better now that he can't feel the ball when he's throwing it.
Yeah, maybe, dude. They go Titans, 3-1. Good for you guys.
What?
He's had his injury. He can't grip the ball. He can't feel his grip as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's sometimes he doesn't feel the ball in his hand. Maybe he's a little better this way.
Yeah.
Surprising. Interesting take.
All
right, next game on the board here is Buffalo at Green Bay. This was...
Bills Mafia. No.
Well, not
they weren't breaking a lot of tables, were they?
No, they didn't really show up this week. This defense, Green Bay's defense and Seattle's defense were my top defense picks of the week. And if you started Green Bay's, pretty good because I got a shutout. Josh Allen was trash, threw 150 yards and 2 picks, which is too bad because I really was... After seeing what he did against Vikings, I thought Allen would be a little better.
Nope.
He has all the talent in the world, just like Derrick Henry.
I don't know if you guys heard this on the Gamecast. They were talking about it.
On Gamecast?
Not on Gamecast. During the game, the announcers were
See, I
talking.
got GameCube, I got Dreamcast.
Yeah, go on.
It's called Gamecast.
Gamecast.
It's all the same.
But they were talking about Josh Allen. So the other game when they played, they were getting turnovers so fast. He wasn't talking to the coaches or anything on the sideline. He didn't have time. Like, I usually see a player getting coached up, and he was just going out there and do whatever he wanted to do each time he went out there. Well, they said this time it might actually hurt him because they were trying to, correct all the stuff he was doing wrong, and he was just playing off pure emotion and just kind of instincts.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to actually, turn him into a quarterback.
Yeah, that's probably not
Telling
good.
him not to hurdle linebackers.
That's probably not good. Nah, dude, you got to just let him go out there and ball.
Yeah, why repeat what worked last week?
Because it'll get him killed.
It will get him killed. And he's supposed to be the face of the franchise, so you kind of need that guy.
I think Sean McCoy's the face of the franchise. Not that he did much. 24 rushes, 3 catches for 13 yards.
Yeah, that hurt.
Hey, Charles Clay, top receiver. 4 catches for 40 yards. Go.
Zay Jones?
He wasn't the top receiver.
No, but
He got 4 for
top
39.
targeted.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but when you're getting targeted and you're 10 yards off the mark of where the receiver's at, doesn't really matter that you're the top target.
But he's so strong.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we can talk about Buffalo. That's all anyone wants to talk about Buffalo. Buffalo's back to being Buffalo. Green Bay side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers was okay. Yeah, just shy of 300 yards, but he was 1 for 1. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So, not exactly what you kind of look for out of Aaron Rodgers, at least touchdown numbers. Aaron Jones, 65 yards and touchdown. And Devontae Adams, 8 catches, 80 yards. Geronimo Allison is a starter now. He's a flex option. Absolutely. He is now the number 2 receiver.
He got hurt.
He's also got a soft nug.
Yeah, he got a concussion.
He'll be back. He'll go through protocol.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. You don't need your head.
You guys heard what happened, right? Devontae Adams had a witch doctor out there that passed off the soft nug to Geronimo Allison.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it works.
Hopefully, he got, he still had, 8 for 60?
Yeah, 6 catches, 80 yards.
And he was targeted, 15 times, 11 times or something like that? He was targeted a lot.
Yeah.
So he's coming back off injury,
Yeah.
Goes through that concussion protocol, comes out clean. Put him in your flex. Good option. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers likes him.
The thing that was most apparent to me in this game is that Jamal Williams is done. Aaron Jones is clearly the best running back there.
Ty Montgomery got goal line carries.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
still got some work.
so this is what happened though. Is they did. You remember a couple years ago when Rex Ryan had a head coaching job, and and he did the whole thing. Well, okay, Bilal Powell, this is your series, and then he would be like, okay, Chris Ivory, this is your series. Okay, Chris Johnson, this is your series, and they would just rotate all 3 of them. So that's what happened in the Green Bay game today. And every time Aaron Jones was on the field, best running back. So it's obvious that you would want Ty Montgomery to get your goal line carries and not just put him in there. If this continues, that's going to be incredibly frustrating.
Well, I think wide receivers should probably carry the ball in the goal line. It seems smart.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jet sweeps.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you got 2 catches, 50 yards too.
He did well in PPR.
We're back to starting defenses against Buffalo, right?
I mean, I started Green Bay today, and it helped me out a lot.
Yeah, same. So, yes, I would say you're back to starting defenses against Buffalo. That's all I got for this game.
No Jimmy Graham? Did you bring up Jimmy Graham?
No, I didn't.
Lambeau leaping Jimmy Graham?
Oh,
He climbed that wall easy, 1 hop.
you got that nice touchdown.
He did what Jimmy Graham's been doing forever.
Catch a touchdown passes?
Red zone guy.
3 for 21 and a touch.
Well, good for you, Jimmy.
He is the red zone.
All right, let's move on to Houston at Indy. There was a lot of questionable play calling going on in here from the Indianapolis side. It actually cost them the game in the overtime. Did you all see
Yeah,
that?
I saw that.
Fourth down, they went out there, acted like they were going to drop offside.
So
then they called
dumb.
timeout, and then they went for it on fourth down.
So
Turned it
dumb.
over. Houston kicks field goal, wins the game.
So dumb. I mean, I was happy because it gave D-Watt a couple more points. So
Bowling would have
dumb.
gotten-
Yeah, it was a terrible play call. I think he was just like, I'm not tying. I'm not ending in a tie.
I'd rather lose.
I think Roger Goodell sent something out to the league, said there will be no more ties this year.
I would rather lose than tie. Okay.
Yep, that's
Smart.
Pretty, I think he. So I think he watched like a little ESPN before. Saw some Herm Edwards on there.
It's called strategy, all right?
You play to win the game,
Yeah. Or you play to lose it, which is what
Yep.
they did.
and now he's like, good old Coach Moore out there. Playoffs.
Don't talk about playoffs.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
All right, so Deshaun Watson,
Ooh.
almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick,
Whew.
and had a little bit on the ground too, right? Which is always what you want from Deshaun Watson.
Mm.
Had that rushing touchdown, which really helps out a lot,
He's Cam Newton with a better arm.
and not as big.
No, but I'm saying he's still going to get you those rushing touchdowns
Yeah.
and those rushing
Okay.
numbers. No, yeah, he's not as big as Cam. I'm not saying that, but I'm
Okay.
saying
So then I said Lamar Miller, fire him up, right?
ooh,
Yeah, that was terrible.
that was a bust.
Yeah, 4.9 points in PPR.
It's because you put too much on him. If you just
Yeah.
said he's going to be
But
a
Alfred,
10-point guy.
Alfred
like
Blue was in the
always.
game a lot.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. But then Will Fuller was having a game.
Answer for me.
I don't know why. I let me call Bill O'Brien up, see what he says.
I just wasn't sure if there was like an injury or something I didn't
Nothing
know
I
about.
saw.
Because Alfred Blue is not a
I think
good
they were
running
just
back.
swapping series.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
But then, so Will Fuller was having himself a game, and then he's too fast. His hamstring's true. Left him out on the side in there, and
He still got a touchdown for he left.
he did. And he got you 15 points. Nuke,
Oh,
straight.
he's such a beast.
Yeah, you know, he was a... That was Nuke with 32.9 points in PPR.
Ooh.
Back to doing Nuke things, pushing off to get touchdowns, whatever. We don't call them.
Who cares?
No flag, doesn't count, right?
Roger Goodell, NFL wants to see points, baby.
But the surprise here is good old Kiki Kuti.
Well, when Will Fuller went out, Cootie was the man.
11 receptions, 109 yards. He had 15 targets. He was actually being the man before Will Fuller went out.
Dude, Kiki Cootie.
15 targets. He led the team in targets.
Is he going to be an ad?
Yeah, he's their slot guy.
He's an ad.
And we saw last year when Will Fuller was their slot guy, how they use Will Fuller. And if you're going to tell me he's getting double-digit targets, and as long as his hamstring doesn't
Good
catch
throw,
up
Ben.
anymore,
Oh, Big Ben just threw a nice little interception. Good for you, Big Ben. Sorry.
I think last week threw Big Ben off. I think he
Ooh.
thinks he's on the road.
That's so good for my matchup this week.
He threw
All
that
right.
to the defense.
Yeah, that's what an interception is, Pat.
No, but like,
No,
that wasn't.
he's trying to say he's a gunslinger. Okay, gunslinger. All right, but on the Houston side, I mean, Kiki's a guy I'm probably targeting on waiver wire. Obviously, I probably won't start him next week, but I'd like to have him on my team because if he goes off again, you don't want to be fighting the waiver wire for him again.
He's a definite ad.
And then Indy. So I was wrong. Andy Luck still can sling the ball around a little bit. I mean, he threw the ball 60 times. 60 times.
Any
That's a career
defenses?
high.
What?
It's a career high.
Well, I hope so. But if they think they're going to throw it back, they have to throw it back there because no running back on that team can run the ball. Naheem Hines had a great game, but it's because of his receiving. 9 receptions, 63 yards, and 2 touchdowns for almost 30 points. Chester Rogers got into it a little bit with 8 for 85.
Why not? You know?
Ebron got himself another touchdown. Good old Ebron finally in the end zone again.
Hey, dude. He's
That's
going to...
3 of the 4 weeks.
And, you know, if Jack Doyle's out, T.Y. Hilton's already going to be out. I think Ebron for next week is going to be a must start.
Yeah, they've already came out and said T.Y. will probably miss next week's game.
Thank goodness Julian Edelman's coming back for me.
And the Indy defense. So the Indy
Yeah.
defense wasn't completely terrible. I mean, they did give up a lot of yards and stuff, but they got put in some bad situations. There was the aborted snap that kind of screwed them. With J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt caused a fumble. The offense did put them in bad situations. So I think this Indy defense, if you get a right matchup, they can actually be pretty serviceable still.
Yeah, the defense isn't bad.
No, because this is a really good Houston offense when we look at it. Like, they are a
Yeah.
pretty explosive offense. And they still got you 3 points. So they're a matchup-based defense you can still not scare away from too much.
You missed the Irish jig, dude.
Okay.
Pat
Anything you
doesn't
guys want to add?
No. Next game.
You want to talk about Zach Pascal?
No.
All right, let's go.
All right, next game. Jets and Jaguars. Well, this isn't much of a surprise, but the Jaguars beat the Jets. Jets played really poorly, and then the Jaguars even decided to run up the score a little bit. Because why not? Yeah, it was a good time. Okay, so the Jets, like we said, the only person we really thought might have been startable was Quincy Enunwa and Bilal Powell. Isaiah Crowell was just not even existent today. 0 yards rushing, and he only had 3 yards receiving with 1 catch.
And he caused the team to have a safety, too.
Not good. Sam Darnold, 167 yards. He did have a touchdown, though, so that's good. Bilal Powell, 8 for 26 rushing, and then 4 for 26 receiving. So, yeah, there's that. Quincy Enunwa got you 10 points in PPR, 4 for 66. He was the only highlight on the entire Jets team. And that wasn't much of a
What
highlight.
about Jordan Leggett?
Nope.
No, he's a highlight. He got a touchdown.
He got
Jordan
a touchdown.
Leggett.
But no one started him. His points that helped no one.
You're right.
So, Blake Bortles. Remember when I told you to sit him? Well, that was a mistake. 388 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Blake Bortles had a great game. And we were kind of thinking that the Jaguars were really similar to the Titans. They kind of just play to their opponent, right? So,
Who, the Jags?
yeah.
They blew him out.
Yeah, so but normally they play to the skill of their opponent, like last week against Titans, the week before against Patriots. They just kind of upped their game, and now it's very apparent that they just said, "No, we'll just go ahead and win this one outright."
Oh, what's the Jets?
Leonard Fournette, 11 for 30, and he left the game. Surprise? No.
No, God, please.
He's a bum. You spent all that time, and we were like, "Oh, really? You're gonna come back?" And then you left it with a hammy again. Soft tissue's
Are
injured.
you calling someone a bum because they got hurt?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the problem with hamstrings. You never know when you think it's good until he's out there trying to run. And
Freaking bum.
Have you ever had a hamstring injury?
No. You know
It's
why?
no joke.
You know, no, because I lather those bad boys up in milk, goat milk, in a warm bath, and I keep them nice and loose. Yeah. All right, now, TJ Yeldon, he had a great game. 8 for 52 and 1 touchdown, 3 catches for 48 yards, and another touchdown. If you are a Leonard Fournette owner, you have to be a TJ Yeldon owner.
And it's probably too late.
And it's probably too late because he's probably already owned by someone else in your league who is going to start him whenever Fournette goes out. And Fournette probably won't play again next week. I really do think that they're going to find creative ways to get TJ Yeldon involved. He's not a great running back, but they split him out. I mean, if you can go get him, you have to go get him. So remember when I said that Keelan Cole is the number 1? Well, 2 for 15. Bum.
Who was the number 1?
D.D. Westbrook. And he was a straight boss in this game. Straight boss. 9 for
Was he a
1.
straight boss?
9 for
Dante was the
130.
boss.
What about good old Moncrief out there?
Moncrief had 5 for 109 and a
He
touchdown.
caught every target he got.
Both of them were straight bosses this week. Good for you, Joe.
Into the sun. Now I'm dead.
And guess what? You cannot expect this production week to week.
That's why they're dead.
Yep. So that's it for that game.
That's it? That's all you got?
Well, I would like to say that you should go and target those guys and maybe pick up DD or pick up Moncrief, but it's a week to week thing. I mean, you really never know who the guy's going to be. And Blake isn't going to support 3 receivers or 2 receivers even.
Or one
regularly.
receiver that you can count on
Yeah,
consistently.
we just no. We'll look at the matchups next week and we'll see if there's one that we might be able to pick out some weaknesses in defense and we'll see what we can give you. But
Are you saying add Moncrief, though, if he's available? Because I think he's probably available.
I think he's definitely worth the stash.
Stash on your bench.
If you got somebody like Jamison Crowder still on your team or
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson, who should not be owned anymore, I think he's definitely going to be worth the stash. So, or if you have Jake Butt, you can drop Jake Butt. Or Ted Ginn, you can drop him too. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, next game, Miami at New England. New England finishing September 2-2, just as expected. They won 38-7, and it was the debut for Savior of Patriots, Yeah, he had 2 catches for 32 yards.
They're both for first down. So.
But he served his purpose.
Yeah, I guess.
Decoy.
Was he a decoy?
Yeah. Cordero Patterson caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Miami has one of the best corners in the NFL on the team.
Minka.
No, he's a safety.
Minka.
It's Xander Howard. No, seriously, you guys need to watch.
You said he was one of the best corners, and then you said he was a safety.
No, Minka Fitzpatrick is a safety.
Yeah.
The guy he said.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying Howard
Okay.
is one of the best safeties in the league. You can look it up.
Okay.
But he is. And that's probably why they didn't go to Josh Gordon's way a lot, because I'm guessing he shadowed Josh Gordon a lot.
But allowed Cordero Patterson to get open for that 55-yard catch.
Philip Dorsett, 4 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. So that's probably had something to do with it.
Patriots got off the schneid.
What about Gronk? Where's Gronk at?
Ooh.
All right, Gronk had 4 catches, 44 yards.
No! No!
No,
No!
Little baby ankle gave out on him.
he didn't get hurt. He said, I'm done playing in this game.
No,
Let
he
me
got-
fake this injury.
No, he got hurt. Little baby ankle gave out on him.
Do you see the mountain of a man he is?
Yeah, with those little twigs holding him up.
Yeah, you want to make out with him?
All right, anyway. He got hurt, but they were up 31-0 at the time. Pretty well in hand. So they just said, you know what, Gronk, go to the locker room. We got this.
Did you see Bill Belichick when the Miami player faked an injury on the ground and then popped up as soon as the flag came out?
I didn't see it, but I'm sure he was furious.
Oh, he was yelling at the ref, who obviously wasn't looking at him right because the ref's still staring
yeah,
still.
of course.
And he said, "This is effing BS."
I imagine the game was well in hand at that point.
Not at that point. At that point, Brady was kind of looking kind of ugly, and it wasn't.
Yeah, so on
They
that.
were winning. It was, I think it was maybe 10-0 at the time.
Oh, okay. So yeah, still anyone's game. Yeah, Brady didn't look like Brady-esque. He threw 2 picks. He got you 3 touchdowns and 274 yards passing, but
Julian will come back and fix all of it.
yes, Edelman's coming back. Maybe he's the savior of the Patriots. Maybe it's not Flash.
I think James White might be the savior of the Patriots.
I mean, he's doing it.
On the Russians!
8 catches, 68 yards and a touchdown. Even added 44 on the ground. Yeah, he went off this week. So, is he a starter now? Now that Rex is. By the way, I had a dream that Rex Burkhead wasn't on the IR. I got really excited, and then I woke up and I realized it was just a dream.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I wonder with Edelman coming back how that does affect James White though, because they run
true.
similar routes.
Well,
The
Julian-
route trees are very similar.
Yeah,
but
James
Julian's
White's
better
just a
at 'em.
receiver he's a Ty Montgomery.
Do you even think Julian will play
A reverse Ty
on
Montgomery.
Thursday night?
Yes,
Edelman?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course
he knows that playbook better than Brady probably.
Especially if Gronk really is injured and it's a short week and they don't bring him back. 100% Edelman plays.
Okay.
Sony Michel, breakout game. Kind of due for it since the other 2 guys are on the IR now. But
didn't have a
122 yards and a touchdown. He is the ground guy. James White is your PPR guy. That's how it's going to be for the rest of the season.
Cordell Patterson adding, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Best ball? Sure.
No.
There's nothing to talk about on the other side other than
What about
said.
Chris Hogan? Hold on. We didn't bring up Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan was a complete dud this week.
Yeah, he was.
Freaking
One target.
bum. What a bum.
I mean, are we done with Chris Hogan?
Yeah.
Is he
dead to me.
droppable?
He's dead to me.
Edelman coming back.
Gordon's there now.
I mean, you look at these numbers Dorsett keeps having, and you say, like, oh, when's it going to drop off? But it hasn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And now
I
you got
think-
Gordon back. And Gordon's going to play more. He was limited this game. He wasn't that many snaps.
Big
All right,
Ben
so
just threw a ball.
this was with a minute 8 to go in the Pittsburgh game, and they just threw the ball right in front of his feet. You all probably saw it already, but that's why we just got stopped.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Big Ben.
Okay, yeah,
He's
well,
looking
all
like
right, move on
Road.
to Miami.
Yeah, he's looking like Road
Hold on,
Big Ben.
hold on. Miami scored a touchdown. Tell me how Miami scored their touchdown.
Frank Gore.
Who threw the ball to Frank Gore?
Was it Albert Wilson?
No, it was Brock Osweiler.
Yes, it was. They brought him in.
Because Tannehill was so bad.
Yeah, they
Tannehill was terrible.
They put
Tannehill
Brock
got you a solid 0 fantasy points this week.
negative in some leagues.
Oh.
The fact that Frank Gore caught a touchdown pass. The fact that it was from Brock. That
Frank
just
Gore
shows you.
got more work than anybody, and it was a blowout, or they were getting blown out, and they said, Frank's like, I'll go out there and work.
Yeah. I mean, he only had 40 rushing yards, 2 catches, 16 yards, and a touchdown. Tannehill, 100 yards, 1 pick. He got you 0 points. Ugh. That's rough.
It's pretty gross.
And negative, probably in some leagues, depending on how you value your picks. Kenny Still's still number 1 receiver, but he got shut down. 3 catches, 40 yards. Really no bright spots in this Miami. Other than that Brock played Frank Gore. But no one's...
Kalen Balash saw the field.
The only bright spots were the lights in the bathroom. That was about it.
Probably, yeah. Too bad for Kenyon Drake. He was a bum. He was just... Oh, you Kenyon Drake owners, you're probably pretty upset right now.
Yeah, I think Adam Gase probably needs to get fired for his usage of his running back.
Yeah.
He gave him 3 carries.
Well, he's not going to get fired because
carries.
they're still leading the East.
3
for
carries.
They're still leading the East.
3 carries.
can't
Well,
get
they
fired.
How
were
long are you going to lead the
exposed
East?
today.
You can't get fired when you're winning.
Yes, you can.
Listen,
Yeah, I guess the
everyone knows
Broncos
the
fired a
true
guy.
measure is an
LeBron. How many
AFC.
coaches LeBron got fired?
Broncos fired John Fox after he took him to a Super Bowl. So.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
Well, it paid off.
All right, so let's move on to an actual game that was interesting and fun to watch.
Agree.
Believeland at Oakland.
Oh,
Poor Believeland.
and
Good
it wasn't.
old Cleveland.
It wasn't for a lack of trying.
No, they tried. They tried so good. So let's just start on the Cleveland side. We had good old Nick Chubb leading the way in the fantasy yards. He had 105 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. You want to know how many carries he had?
2.
3.
Oh, sorry.
They were close though.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because those 3 were big boy
They
carries.
were- well, 2 of them were big boys. One of them was like just 4 yards. Yeah. So Nick Chubb, people can go out there and try to add him if they want to, but like I said, he only had 3 carries. He barely saw the field. I mean, he made great use of what he got. Carlos Hyde still leading the way there with 22 rushes, 82 yards, and a touchdown. But Duke Johnson actually had a good game. All the running backs had a good game. Jarvis Landry had an okay game. It was saved by a touchdown. Other than that, he wasn't great. Baker was so-so. He threw the ball 41 times. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, under 300 yards. I was I was impressed watching him play, but fantasy-wise, I wasn't impressed by the way he was playing. If that makes sense.
It does. I guess you kind of expect more, especially out of a kind of explosive guy like Baker.
And then David Njoku had a decent game, but he was robbed his touchdown because good old Darren Fells, because everybody started him up right. 1 catch, 49 yards, and a touchdown.
Nailed it.
Yep, saw that
Hate
coming.
you, Darren. Stealer. You're a thief of joy.
So Antonio Callaway wasn't great. Rashad Higgins actually got a lot more work than he did.
Yeah, that was a real bummer because I think a lot of people were banking on Callaway being the guy for Baker, and it just didn't come to fruition.
He got a
this
lot
game.
of targets, but I think because he's such a deep threat, it was just a lot of misses. A couple of them got Baker picked off because he was trying to go deep when he probably shouldn't have and got picked.
I love the moxie.
The moxie.
Love it.
But then the Oakland side.
Wow.
Good old Derek Carr. I almost said David Carr. I have no idea why.
Because they're brothers.
They're brothers, but
They begin with-
one made it a lot longer in the league than the other one.
Well, the other one didn't have. He was an expansion team, dude. I'm not. No, come on.
He was the ugly stepchild.
No, give David some love, guys.
Nope,
Right,
he
nope.
deserves none.
No, what?
Derek Carr threw for 4 touchdowns here. Jared Cook had himself a day. Jared Cook was a straight.
Crashing to the sun. Now I'm dead.
Yeah, he crashed into the sun again because it'll probably be about 3 more weeks before you see a decent game from Jared Cook again.
Didn't you start him this week?
I did, but just because tight end is so terrible.
But you didn't regret it.
I didn't. No regrets here.
No regrets.
Yeah, he actually was target leader with 13. Hey, Amari Cooper, 128 and a touchdown.
You know what? Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
So Amari Cooper, I think you have to start him.
Block?
You have to start Amari Cooper in your lineup.
So, someone was mentioning to me like, oh no, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about how they need a Amari Cooper spot. An Amari Cooper spot. Because you can't start him, can't sit him, can't drop him.
You can start him. He's had 2 weeks this year where he's had really good games.
2 out of 4.
Yeah,
That's, it's 2 is 1 more than he had last year.
yeah,
He had 1 great week last year.
exactly. So you got to put in your lineup.
Maybe they finally broke the Da Vinci Code with him.
Maybe. And then Marshawn Lynch running over people. Did you, as probably didn't see it, but he had a play where he was running over guys and they blew him down because 2 guys had to hold his legs, but he broke that tackle and kept on running. He was so mad. I'm surprised he didn't get penalized because he kicked the ball up into the stands.
He didn't get penalized for that?
No.
Oh, well.
I think because the refs realized they screwed up
Hmm.
because they blew Marshawn Lynch down when somebody like 2-hand touched him.
Hmm.
Because he'd already broke like 3 tackles and they blew it dead. he was pretty mad. Jordy?
He's a beast.
Jordy with a little 2-point conversion and a touchdown. Sell Jordy. I'm still saying it.
Keep him. Start him.
Sell him.
MVP.
And good old alien face himself, Martavis Bryant.
He does have an alien face.
I mean, he wasn't great, but... So, biggest takeaways here is that Cleveland needs to learn how to close out games. They can't win in overtime. It's factual.
But they tried.
They tried. They were up big. They blew it.
Yeah. Sad. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Carlos Hyde's still that leader.
All right, so I got Saints and Giants. Good job, Drew Brees. You really crapped a lot of people's week.
They were outdoors.
Yeah, well, it definitely affected him because he only had 217 yards passing, no touchdowns or interceptions, but 217, that was it? Yeah, you were a bum this week, Drew. Now, they did have one solid boss, Alvin Kamara.
Bomb the Russians, crash into the sun. Now I'm dead.
Like a boss.
So
134 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns, 5 catches for 47 yards.
I do have a question.
What's up?
With Mark Ingram coming back next week, we've seen a lot of Alvin Kamara. Do you think it's going to fall off? Do you think Mark Ingram's going to cut into this a lot?
I think he's going to, well, I mean, in PPR, he's getting 40 fantasy points, so even if you take that by half, it's still 20, so I think that's okay. I mean, what are you afraid of?
Well, but seriously, though, because this was his best rushing game of the year, by far.
Yeah, absolutely, but I'm not worried about that. They're just going to use him through the air more, and it's going to open things up for Michael Thomas. I'm not concerned at all.
Okay.
I mean, we saw what happened last year. I'm not worried about it. Now, speaking of Michael Thomas, he was a bum today. 4 for 47. I mean, Drew Brees' bad day, it really messed up a lot of this offense. 1 for 23 for Ben Watson. No one cares about Ted Ginn. Just a bad day for this offense, other than Alvin Kamara. You were expecting more, and then on the other side of the ball, you were thinking, okay, well, the Giants, they're playing one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They'll have a great game, right? Wrong.
Sterling Shepard got a touchdown.
Sterling Shepard was really the lone, well, him and Saquon, they were really the lone bright spots on that side. Eli, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, and we really expected him to be a great streaming option this week. It just didn't come to fruition. Saquon, though, great game. Oh, Trey Burton. There was a highlight of Trey Burton. Anyway, OBJ, 7 for 60. Do you think now he's a good buy low candidate?
You can try, but I still don't see. He was probably one of the first wide receivers taken, probably the second or third wide receiver taken. It's going to take a lot to get that off somebody still.
I think he's a great buy low candidate.
You can target him, but
Who's this?
OBJ.
Odell, you're going to have to give up. You can't give up getting for trash. You're going to have to give up some good pieces. You're going to have to give up probably a top 15 running back.
What about Julio Jones and Matt Breida? Julio Jones and Matt Breida for OBJ.
Maybe. Some people might go Julio straight up for Odell.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks in a row where he has been the number 2 receiver on that team. Sterling Shepard had another great game, 10 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. He's getting targeted more.
Odell is still the number one target there. He is still getting a lot of the targets from Eli.
Just not catching him. I don't know. I think he's a great buy low candidate. If you can go out there and get him, I really don't think that the price would be that high right now, but that's just my opinion. That's pretty much it from this game. You didn't start either one of the defenses. Good, but Eli really busted you if you were thinking you were going to start him and get a good game out of it. The next game I got, though, is going to be a lot better. Just wait till we get there.
All right, moving on to Seattle at Arizona. This is the matchup that I chose to start. Seattle's defense against the rookie quarterback Josh Rosen. He did all right. He had 180 yards and 1 touchdown. They only lost by 3. Seattle won 2017. David Johnson did David Johnson things, 70 yards, touchdown, and 3 catches, 41. What you got there, Brad?
Oh, no, I was just going to say the kicker missed a kick that would have tied the game and sent it to overtime.
No.
They had a chance to win that game.
Kickers, man.
So I don't know if that speaks to Josh Rosen and this Arizona team or Seattle's lack thereof, but we'll talk about Seattle and what happened to them in a little bit.
So the funniest thing about this game was Josh Rosen ran for a first down, right?
Oh, there's something funnier.
Oh, no. And then he gets tackled. And he goes to reach up to get, a hand to get up. And
Yeah.
the two, linebackers from Seattle that tackled him didn't even acknowledge his presence.
This ain't college, buddy.
And he was like, oh. And he just tries to, hide it up, make it look like he didn't do that, rub his leg or something. As he's getting
Aw,
up.
poor Josh. Kissed by a Rosen.
Oh, poor guy. Ricky Seals-Jones, 2 catches, 52 yards. There's your tight end start right there.
Tight ends are so bad.
And Larry Fitz, 3 catches, 28 yards. Christian Kirk, same thing, except he had 1 more reception. I'm starting to think Christian Kirk is right up there with Calvin Ridley as a potential flex option starter. You got him, Geronimo Allison. Got some good rookie wide receivers out there.
Geronimo's not a rookie.
He's not.
I was thinking of Equinemius.
Okay.
That's
Who's
right.
not a good start.
What, Allison?
No, Equinemius St. Brown.
Oh, no. I was
Yeah,
thinking.
no, it's okay. Yeah.
All right, on the other side of the ball, we got Russell Wilson. Had a pretty blah game. He had 172 yards passing, 21 rush. Chris Carson was hurt. Rashard Penny didn't do much, so obviously you queue up Mike Davis.
Yeah, that was the biggest surprise there. You thought Chris Carson's out, feed Rashad Penny, right? Nope, Mike Davis.
Solid.
Did we know who Mike Davis is? Before
I know
this
he
game?
is.
He was the running back last year who got a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he had 100 yards with 2 touchdowns. Added 4 catches, 20 yards.
With 21 carries. I think Pete Carroll's actually starting to rely on one back and just feed a guy.
Maybe.
This is 2 weeks in a row.
I don't know anything.
Wait till they get to
about
the
Pete
goal
Carroll.
line. They'll pass it.
I know nothing about Pete Carroll.
Tyler, no one does. Tyler Lockett, 5 catches, 53 yards. Doug Baldwin's back. He had 5 catches, 41 yards. Will Disley, he got hurt. Sorry, all you guys. He has
Possibly
a
out
torn
for the year.
patellar.
Out for the year.
Yep, that is the tendon that connects 2 bones right around your kneecap area for those.
Hey, did somebody else get hurt and possibly out for the year?
Yep, Earl Thomas.
Hmm.
Fractured lower leg. And as he was being carted off, he told the Seattle sideline that they're number 1.
No, number 1.
And Pete Carroll asked about it after the game. He said, it's a big stadium.
Yeah, and you hear what Pete Carroll said about him? He's like, that's a lower leg injury. We'll see how long he's out.
Well, at least now he won't get fined for missing any more practices because he doesn't.
Yeah, so Legion of Boom officially gone forever.
R.I.P.
He
LOB.
was- he was the last link in that.
Are they all out of the league right now, too? Because Richard Sherman was hurt today. Now he's hurt.
Aaron
No,
Thomas.
Byron Maxwell's still on the team.
He's still on a team somewhere floating.
No, he's on the Seahawks.
They
they released
have
him and they
Bobby
brought him
Wagner
back last
too,
year.
right?
Yeah, but he's not a linebacker. Or not, he's a linebacker.
No, Byron Maxwell?
No, he said Bobby Wagner.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
the secondary?
The secondary. That's what the Legion
Where's
moved.
Browner? He's still out there.
Who?
Brandon Browner, isn't he on the Saints? He was part of the LOB.
No, they're all dead.
Well, they're definitely not relevant anymore. And that's pretty much all I got for this game.
I need some more Griffin brothers on defense. And they'll be all
You going
right.
to pick up Mike Davis this week?
I think you definitely have to give him a look depending on how severe Chris Carson's injury is.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody saw really Chris Carson.
And Chris
Yeah.
Carson has had injury issues throughout college, throughout the NFL.
Yeah, hopefully in our Wednesday's episode we will have more updates on that Chris Carson injury.
I think he could definitely be a good ad, though.
All right, next game.
Moving on. So go ahead and grab your rice and roni. Head on down to L.A. Go to the soccer stadium. Watch the San Francisco 49ers
San
at the
Francisco
L.A.
Chiefs.
Chargers. Yeah, see what I did there? This was a lot closer of a game than I think anybody here thought it was going to be.
I certainly didn't think that.
So the Chargers defense, I don't think they're good. I think they need a pass rush. Until Joey Bosa comes back, their pass rush is almost non-existent unless they bring the blitz, which is really bad for that secondary. Because C.J. Beathard had a decent game, had 17 fantasy points, which none of us saw coming.
Mm-mm.
No.
And then
Better,
the question,
better start than Tannehill.
and then the question I had was, which wide receiver do you want to start? Do you want to start Pierre Garçon, or do you want to start good old Marcus Goodwin? Question was, neither one of them. Kidrick Bourne was the number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, right. With 3 receptions, 34 yards, and a touchdown.
Everyone saw that coming.
I mean, Pierre Garçon did get the most targets, other than big old George Kittle, who was straight balling with 24 points, had an 82-yard touchdown. which really helps your stats.
That does help.
Doesn't hurt. I mean, we thought that he could be a big beneficiary whenever Jimmy Garoppolo went out, and so far that's been true.
Yeah, C.J. Beathard did come out for a little bit for a possible concussion protocol, but he came back into the game. Matt Breida was okay, not great. Only had you 10 points, but definitely was the back over Alfred Morris here. San Francisco defense they got you 7 points, but I think they're still pretty bad. The reason they got you 7 points is they ran a pick back for a touchdown to start the game.
Yep.
And then we move over to the Chargers side. So they got themselves in a hole a little early. And then Rivers said, hey, Melvin Gordon, let's dig ourselves out of this.
No, just them two.
Just them two, pretty much, yeah, because Keenan Allen was looking good in the very beginning, got to 9 points, and then just disappeared to the fourth quarter.
Dude, I am loving Melvin Gordon so much. I have him in a lot of leagues.
Are you loving the fact that he got looked at for an injury, an undisclosed injury towards the end of the game?
He's fine.
He wasn't on the field when they were trying to melt the clock.
But he put his helmet back on. He was ready to go back out.
Yeah.
Just didn't need to.
The game was still on the line.
Didn't need to.
Okay. Well, Rivers
Didn't
had you
need to
21
'cause he had
points.
Eckler in there.
Melvin Gordon, straight,
On the rushing.
30 points. He's doing it on the ground with 104 yards and through the air. Austin Eckler is still fantasy relevant.
Yeah.
Like, he is still getting touchdowns, working in the receiving game. He got 8 rushes. He only got 25 yards on those 8 rushes, but he did get 8 rushing attempts. And I think about 3 or 4 of those were at the end of the game when they're trying to milk the clock when everybody knew they were going to run. So Austin Eckler is still, I think you can still flex him, still start him as RB2, especially more bye weeks coming up. Keenan Allen, it was kind of a disappointing game. He did have 10 targets, 7 receptions, 63 yards, which does help you in PPR, but you're expecting a lot more from Keenan Allen. He still has yet to find the end zone, so I'm hoping once he starts getting in the end zone, it'll start making his numbers look better. He's only had 100-yard receiving game. Mike Williams, yeah, the bottom fell out of that really fast. He just was not there, not what you wanted. Antonio Gates with a touchdown. Woo! Maybe that's a tight end to start.
No.
Woo.
Maybe.
No.
He can be like Jimmy Graham was last year.
No.
Come back into form.
No.
He had 5 targets.
No. No. No.
Yeah, but this Chargers defense, I'm probably dropping him until Joey Bosa comes back. Once Joey Bosa comes back, he is a difference maker on defense.
Do they have a game against the Bills soon?
I know they already did that game, remember?
Oh.
And they're not in division, so.
Yeah,
They do have another game with the Chiefs coming up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely don't want to
That's
start.
not good.
All right.
All right, Josh, let's hear your other game here.
All right, this is my last game, and we all saw this coming. Bucks and Bears. Bears won 48-10. We all, and sadly, the magic in Fitzmagic it's over.
Did
So is
you,
OJ Howard.
yeah, did you see that O.J. Howard went out almost same time Fitzmagic went out? Like they
It's
pulled him and they said
quite
O.J. Howard's not
poetic,
coming
actually.
back either.
Well, OJ Howard hurt his knee, so
I think he hurt his knee carrying Fitzpatrick to the locker room.
Well, he hurt his
Yeah.
back then. Carrying that team. Yeah, no, he hurt his knee, and they're still waiting on an MRI. We'll find out the results of that tomorrow. But it did open up things for Cameron Brate a little bit. He got a touchdown. I think, especially if OJ Howard's out, and now with Jameis back in there, we know he likes Cameron Brate.
Yes,
And
that was
Humphreys. And Adam Humphreys.
With a little bit of Humphreys. Yeah, he's the guy. So Cameron Brate, that's your man. That's your man. They paid him to be the man. Jameis loves him. And Jameis actually got into the game and immediately threw an interception.
Woo!
But
Jameis things.
overall, he was 16 of 20, 145 yards with a touchdown. Who this hurts the most is Deshaun Jackson. But overall, it hurts all the receivers. Mike Evans, 6 for 59. Rojo actually led them in carries with 10 for 29 yards.
Ooh, Rojo.
The Buccaneers, this is a bad showing, man. This is bad. On the other side of the ball, though, Mitchell Trubisky actually has a Bears record now.
On the rushing.
Straight boss. 6 touchdowns for Mitchell Trubisky. 354 yards. The only fantasy relevant Bear that had a bad game was Jordan Howard. 11 for 25, no catches. It just seems like they were like, we don't really need to use you, so we won't.
So what I think I got from this game is whoever Tampa's playing Just start the quarterback going against them.
Yeah,
Their
maybe,
defense
dude.
is atrocious.
Maybe, dude. Tariq Cohen was straight boss this week, though.
Yeah, he had a game. Whew.
7 for 121 and a touchdown through the air. Yeah, 7 catches, 121 yards. They even ran it 53 yards on 13 attempts. So he even had more attempts than Howard. But like I said, the game had got out of hand pretty quick. So this could have been just a situation where they didn't want Howard to play too much. So I think he's going to have a strong
The
bounce.
Bears had 3 players over 30 points. Because Taylor Gabriel also.
Yep, Taylor Gabriel had 7 catches for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. My boy, Trey Burton, 2 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, pedestrian numbers. Only 16 points.
Only 16 points in PPR.
Yeah, compared to the rest of them, you might as well just
Didn't do much.
Yeah, he was. Well, he
Allen
helped.
The
me.
tight
Robinson.
end pool is so deep, so.
Even Allen Robinson got in there, and there was another guy. I don't even remember his name. He got a touchdown. Trubisky was just don't. Everyone got one.
Bellamy.
Yeah, Mike Bellamy.
Yeah.
Everyone got one besides Howard. Everyone got a touchdown. Taylor
Over
Gabriel got
there.
2. So Taylor Gabriel, he's definitely going to be a waiver wire ad. You have to pay attention to him.
Do you think this is more Chicago's offense or Tampa Bay's defense?
Tampa Bay's defense, absolutely. But the targets that Taylor Gabriel got is what made me think maybe he's worth a look. So,
Okay.
either way, you could have started that Bears defense and gotten about 13 fantasy points out of them. Hope you didn't start that Bucs
Did you hear the
defense,
stat they said during the game?
What?
That Khalil Mack has more forced fumbles than the Raiders have sacks.
though? Yeah, that's a great idea, Raiders. And the Bears are leading their
They
division.
said, but to give the Raiders credit, he's played 2 more quarters because it was like halftime.
Yeah, well, the Bears are leading their division 3-1 without a quarterback.
The Raiders got a win, though.
They did.
Chucky's there. Hey, Derek Carr said it's the most fun he's had.
I
He's
mean,
losing, but it's the most fun he's had.
dude, they're actually a really good team offensively now. It's just their defense is atrocious in Oakland. But anyway,
Well, it happens when you give away your star player.
Taylor Gabriel, be on the lookout.
Anybody else out there, anybody who wants to say to go pick up? We said Mark Ingram, Julian Edelman, they come back from suspension, so if they're out there, go snatch them up.
It was apparent to me that they wanted to get Ronald Jones involved. I think if you still have Peyton Barber, you can go ahead and drop him. He's not going to be worth it anyway. But if you drop Peyton Barber, pick up Ronald Jones.
The funny thing about Ronald Jones was the first pass they threw to him hit him right in the hands, right where he doesn't want it. Obviously,
That's the worst place to throw a ball. Right at their hands.
Never throw to someone's hands.
But Ronald Jones could be the guy to surprise you. He could break some big plays. I mean, this offense isn't going to be broken. It's still only the 4th game of the season, so I expect some things out of Ronald Jones, especially with some checkdowns. If he could learn to catch it.
Yep.
All right, next game.
All right, Sunday Night Football. Last game I think that we're recapping here for Week 4. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore comes away with a win 26-14. Flacco looked great, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. Collins only had 42 yards on the ground. Buck Allen only had 30 yards on the ground. Kind of pedestrian numbers from those Baltimore running backs. John Brown,
Smoke.
116 yards and a touchdown. Only caught the ball 3 times. That's all he needed. Willie Snead, 6 catches, 56 yards. And Max Williams, there's your tight end. There's one to go out and grab. 5 catches, 50 yards.
I'm serious, guys. We got to make the wheel where you put all the Baltimore tight ends on it. We spin it, and that's the one we pick for the week.
It's not a bad idea. It kind of sounds like what they do.
We're going to make one.
All right.
It's happening.
I like it. Home Big Ben was, like you said, not really being home Big Ben.
I think Tampa threw him off. I think he thought he was at home last week, and he was on the road this week.
Maybe.
Clearly.
Yeah. Because he looked
Well, they were
bad.
showing the stats. Like I was playing against Ben in my most expensive money league, and he had over 500 yards last time he played Baltimore, 2 touchdowns. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. Nope, didn't have to worry about that.
No, he only got 274 and threw a pick, threw a touchdown.
Mm.
Receiving the touchdown was Antonio Brown. He had 5 catches, 62 yards. Juju, four catches, 60 yards. Both AB and Juju got 11 targets each. Vance McDonald, there's another tight end to go grab. Saw 5 targets. Caught all 5 for 62 yards.
Okay, now I know you kind of said that jokingly, but Vance McDonald is legitimately a tight end.
I wasn't even joking.
Okay.
That's a tight end, especially if you're
As bad as tight ends are, like he's a great pickup.
And he is straight trucking fools.
What about what about this? Ryan Switzer gets 7 targets, caught all
catches.
7 of them for
It was
just
like-
32 yards, but still he caught all of them.
PPR?
That's what.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
He's
Don't.
averaging about what 4 something yards per reception.
No. That's
I
going
like
to be dominated by Juju and Antonio Brown. And Vance. Don't call Ryan Switzer.
James Conner had a bust day. 19 yards rushing, 1 catch, 23 yards.
So they asked the Baltimore defensive coordinator before the game. I was listening to Collinsworth talk about it. He said, so explain Le'Veon Bell. He's like, well, comparing him to a baseball pitcher, he's like a pitcher that's got 5 good pitches, can throw them all for strikes. He's like, now explain James Conner. He's like, he's got a good fastball.
It's true. It's very apparent. They don't even want him to run the ball.
Wow, man, not even sugarcoating that one.
That's what the Baltimore defensive coordinator said. Like,
He's not wrong.
Do you have how many carries he actually had?
9 carries for 19 yards.
And this game, for the most part, was pretty close.
We see this a lot from Big Ben, though. Like, even when Le'Veon was there, that there'll be games where Big Ben just throws the ball 50 times. I don't know if he's checking out of it. Even on the goal line and stuff, you'll see a lot of
But a
pass
lot
plays.
of times he would be checking down to Le'Veon.
Yeah, but that's the difference is now that we have Juju, we have another passing option there that we haven't had before.
I think if Le'Veon was there, it's very apparent to me James
I wonder
Conner
if
is
Todd
not
Haley being
Le'Veon.
gone changes things too. Because Todd Haley did try to keep Big Ben in check with the play calling and telling him that he's wrong. Because Big Ben and him did get in a lot of
Well, somebody
Johnny
needs to
Manziel's.
rein him in because this isn't good.
so.
Just let Big Ben do Big Ben things. It'll work out well, just like it did tonight.
Or what about Smoke, dude? Smoke Brown.
If he's not added in your league, you got to add him. I think he's been added in most leagues. He's leading the league in average yards per reception.
I'm liking what I'm seeing out of John Brown this
Of
year.
course, you're so fast.
He's so fast. I do like the fast ones. Michael Crabtree dropped another pass. Surprise.
Hey,
Yeah, he didn't really even show up
He's-
on the stat sheet.
he needs people in his face to catch the ball.
He's
Yeah.
chain snatching.
That's what I'm saying.
Talib would have fired him up a little bit.
Yeah, or Richard Sherman.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing out of Crabtree. But John Brown, though, that's the man.
Yep, go at him.
All right.
All right, that concludes our Week 4 recap. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. We'll be back on Wednesday with our Monday night recap, our Thursday preview, and some waiver claims and some injury updates. Stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter at EmptyWagonFF, and enjoy the week.
Later.
Tell your friends to tell their friends
To tell their friends.
about us.
To tell their friends.
To download.
So if you get your friends to get 2 people, and then they get 2 people to join, it's not a pyramid scheme, okay?